I put a phone in the soda that's dope. Baby on the neck getting foolish. Live on the set with the gang and Mike Cooley. I'm just coolin'. Coolin' with the gang. Coolin' with the gang. Cooley in the gang. Baby on the neck getting foolish. Live on the set with the gang and Mike Cooley. I'm just coolin'. Coolin' with the gang. Coolin' with the gang. Cooley in the gang. Nothing better than a professor. Watch him cook up coolin'. Big G, can't forget my nigga Mike Cooley. Keep it hot like a pot of carrot. Sweet as Mayberry. Question is she single? Is she single? We'll find out when I call and I be geeking off G. Laughing till I'm nauseous. Caution, they going all in. Leaving no stones unturned, some topic untouched. They love to cuss and they fuck shit up. Brother, I keep my money right. Make sure you keep that money right. Make sure you keep that money right. Glam sham, keep the jewelry tight. Make sure you keep it. We on weekly. Make sure you peep it. Matt King state of mind, the best kept secret. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. So do it. Introduce it. The gang and Mike Cooley. We be on the neck getting foolish. Live on the set with the gang and Mike Cooley. I'm just coolin'. Coolin' with the gang. Coolin' with the gang. Cooley in the gang. We be on the net getting foolish. Live on the set with the gang and Mike Cooley. I'm just coolin'. Coolin' with the gang. Coolin' with the gang. Cooley in the gang.
You are tuned into the Cooley and the Gang Show on Blockworks Radio.
Boom, 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 boom. Damn, it's dark as shit. What's going on, y'all? It's Tuesday. Y'all niggas in the super dark.
Yeah.
Who else?
Jesus, take the word. Damn.
Yeah.
Hey.
How y'all feeling?
What's up, people? I'm trying to get situated here. I'm just leaving work.
No, that's all.
Oh, you had to go in the office today, man?
Yeah.
Oh.
Many blessings. NJ Rich, what's up, brother? Was NJ Rich here last week? Yeah,
Yes.
he was. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
He show up when the staff don't show up.
Yeah, he did. Glad everybody's here. We about to do what it is we do. You all right?
Yeah, trying to just get fixed here, because if not, you gonna be all over in my space touching shit.
You're not even on camera.
That ain't nothing new. You always put the camera on yourself.
That was racist. I ain't say sit in my lap. Shit. What's going on, y'all? I'm happy to be here. It's Tuesday, January the 18th. Yo, the month is just running away. Like,
it's gone.
We already in the middle of January.
It's gone, homie.
Like, my goodness, y'all. Like, you don't even get a chance to breathe around here. Shout out to everybody joining us on Instagram. Everybody take a second. Hit that share button. It's free 99. It only takes a second. So we can get everybody up here. Take a second also, since you're already here, hit that heart button, show some love. You said what?
Did they get their free COVID test? All the text messages going around?
Oh, yeah, all those text messages. Did y'all get that text about getting free COVID tests sent to you in the mail?
Yeah. But you also have to have it.
Don't nobody have that shit.
You gotta have insurance.
Oh, you don't? It's free.
I just they ain't asked me for no
if you have insurance, but if you don't have insurance, then you have to go to, I guess, the free sites.
I just hit somebody sent me a link from the post office.
The CDC is sending it from the CDC website. It's free.
Okay, they must have updated it after.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Are they gonna work?
I don't know. I just want to do the experiment where you dump a little bit of dump some water on it.
Or positive.
Oh, so James Dickey said it's one per household. Yeah,
it's four tests, but it's one per household.
NJ Rich, what did y'all do for MLK Day? I had to go to work.
I slept.
Look at that. She was living a dream. Keep that dream alive.
I did a photo shoot. All of that. I worked my business. That's what I did.
Well, that's a part of the dream.
Okay.
You know, that's a part of the dream.
Make sure y'all get y'all free COVID tests. They got the chip on it so you can be in the metaverse. Stick it up your nose and shit.
I couldn't again alert that.
I'm sorry. Every time I think of the metaverse, I be thinking of reboot.
James
that
marched
old
his ass to
school.
work. Oh yeah, I'm gonna send this link to you, Linnea, so you can look at it. But yeah, I did mine because Shannon hit me up.
They must have updated that because my neighbor was the one who was telling me Baltimore County libraries was giving they had some free tests given away, and then also Enoch Pratt. But that was like back here, and that was just like last week Saturday.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be opening it up to people to everybody tomorrow, but however it went live today.
Okay, that's probably what it was.
But see, with them mass producing them like that to give them away, something gonna be wrong with them. They're gonna be defected in some sort of way.
Something was wrong with them before. Remember, they couldn't even test them. They couldn't even use it.
Put a little bit of water on them, and it'll give you a
positive read.
DC water, Baltimore water.
James, that's a different one from the counties. This is a national giveaway. Okay, yeah. Well, we put our paperwork in. We're gonna get ours in the mail. You know what I'm talking about. So let's jump. We got a guest tonight, Troya Bishop, author. She'll be on at 6:30. She has a new book out, and she sent me an early copy. You know, it's crazy. Like this, how you know or you feel a little important. Like when somebody send you their book, but you get it on the official, like the paper, like it's like I get to edit and approve, and then send it back to her. Like, look, we need to change a couple things in here. But yeah, right. I felt real special when I got a little bit of an advanced look. But it's called "Life Doesn't Have to Be Perfect to Be Wonderful: A Survival Guide on How to Thrive After Divorce." I forgot I had already had it on the joint. So she'll definitely be on here to talk to us about her book and to just join the show. Troy is always good to have around have on the show. Troy is always fun, and she loves kicking it with us. So we can't wait for her to get here tonight.
Yes.
But beforehand, there's been a lot of some smoke in the city. Oh, I'm sorry, Linnea, I hit the wrong button. It's been some smoke in the city. With Marilyn Mosby. I've been hearing a lot of things. I've been hearing witch hunt.
Damn.
I've been hearing which I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I can see how she could have possibly put a target on her back when she went after the police officers after the Freddie Gray trial.
I believe that's where it started.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I can also see, I mean, we all human. I mean, sometimes we do things, you fuck up, and when you're in a certain position, you just can't do certain things like you might have done it 15 years ago. More eyes are going to be on.
You made a couple side deals.
I mean, who doesn't in that? But the difference with whatever she may have or may not have done is the fact that they already gunning for you. So now, if somebody's gunning for you, you need to be extra careful with everything you do.
Everything.
Even crossing the street. Like, yeah, boss.
So look at all the female males that we had two other years.
What you say, Professor? Oh shit!
So same thing. I mean, you had two other people prior to her that fell on the sword for the same type of thing. My thing is, again, the same thing I said about Sheila Dixon and the same thing I said about Catherine Pugh. Whether she did it or not is irrelevant. The point of it to me is, why are you in a position where whatever it is you did is questionable? Like I just don't understand why we keep having to have these conversations about the same shit. You already know that two people prior to you did something that was questionable. Whether or not it was illegal in our minds or not, it doesn't even matter. The fact of the matter is the law states such and such. You signed an agreement saying that you were going to agree to certain things. Okay. You knew that when you did whatever it is that you did, that was not 100% the way that it was supposed to be. Now, I know what some people going to say, well, white people do it all the time. Why the fuck is that always the measure of what what we do? Why do we always have to equate what happens with us with white people? You're never going to have white people take accountability for the shortcomings that they do. If they get away with that shit, I'm not going to court and saying, well, Johnny and his father been doing it. The court don't want to hear that shit. Oh, great. We'll bring Johnny and them in after we lock your dumb ass up. We'll bring them in right after we prosecute you then. Fine. That's fine. That's cool. That make you feel better because Johnny and them get locked up too? No, just do the right thing. Let's stop the bullshit and stop always trying to point the finger saying somebody else did something when you knew whatever it is that you did, you weren't supposed to do. Now let's say that it doesn't warrant her being removed from her seat or going to jail. Let's just go with that for a second, right? Well, what doesn't warrant then? What is the penalty to that? Because if you work a 9-to-5 job, you already know that taking money out of your 401k can only come out if you have an emergency situation, right? So if you don't have an emergency situation, the only thing you can do is what? Make up one, right? Make up some shit. And isn't that called fraud?
Yeah.
All right, so if that's called fraud, and you hold a seat, what else are they supposed to do? You tell me what is the, if it was a white man in that position, what would you want to happen with him? You understand? So we gotta stop.
Whatever charges did they get her on?
So Mosby
Because I
is
just heard
charged
they
with,
indicted her on perjury.
well, she's being charged with falsely claiming she suffered financial hardship during the pandemic to obtain an early withdrawal from her retirement savings without facing any penalties. The CARES Act allowed individuals to make early withdrawals without penalties if they experienced financial hardships during the pandemic as a result of being quarantined, furloughed, or laid off, having fewer work hours, being unable to work due to lack of childcare or the closing or reduction of hours of a business she owned or operated. Mosby did not face any of those circumstances. The indictment alleges she said she received her full gross state's attorney salary of $247,000 and $247,955.
And not to mention, if you are a salaried employee, whether you work the hours or not, you're getting paid. If you're a salaried employee, and she got a raise this year, from my understanding. Don't quote me on that, but from my understanding, last year, I'm sorry, she got a raise. So that didn't qualify her to be in that position anyway. But I go back to the original statement. Yo, wrong is wrong, yo. You have to stop trying to. If your child came home and said, "I threw a pencil across the room," or a teacher said your child threw a pencil across the room and we suspended him, and your child say, "Well, Johnny threw one too." All right, well, we'll talk about Johnny. But why the fuck did you do it? You know what I mean? We'll go to the school and we'll discuss what Johnny did. But that don't have nothing to do with what you did. You did something that you weren't supposed to do. Right and wrong is not dictated off of who got caught and who didn't. Just because the other person didn't get caught or didn't get called in or didn't get held to the fire, that don't mean what you did was wrong. Now again, we might say that it's petty. All right, maybe it is petty, but again, we're in a position where we are always going to be judged at a different level than white people. And I don't give a fuck what people think about it. Yo, that's how it is. We're in a country where we're stolen from other people. They run a democracy. They run a Republican side of it too. So with that being said, you got two choices. Either operate by their rules or leave the country, yo, because they're not going to change it. Why the fuck would they change it when they've been dominating all of these years? At what point do you think they're going to say, you know what? We done fucked y'all long enough. Y'all fuck us sometime. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, man. So you got to operate in between the guidelines or figure another way out. That's it. And I ain't saying I like it because I've seen it. And here's another little quick thing, and we can move to something else. Yo, I brought this up one time before. Yo, my professor asked a great question. He said that Martin and Malcolm fight for the wrong thing. He said they fought for equality, right? But what we should have fought for was justice, because justice can be measured. Equality can't. You want to be equal? Fine, you're equal. Fuck it. All right, everybody equal, right? Great. But justice can be measured because now you can say somebody else that had the same exact problem. I don't care if they were in Arkansas, if they were in Baltimore City. If it's the same identical charge or the same identical situation, they should get the same exact time or the same consequences in the end. You can measure that, but you can't measure equality. And here we go. We questioning justice in this scenario. And that's just how it is, yo. It's not about personal feelings, ethics, and none of that other shit that we want to add into the play, yo. It's reality.
All right. Well, not only is Big G just coming in.
What up? Here I am. My camera off because my battery died.
G,
That's
what up,
okay.
baby?
What it do?
Our special guest is here. We are going to go ahead and bring her in. Author, friend of the show. I feel comfortable calling her that. Like, friend of the show. She's dope. She wrote another book. I'm still working on my first book, sentence number 1, but she's on her 4th book.
Yeah.
Is it your 4th?
Something like that.
Oh, Troya Bishop is here again to join the Cooley and the Gang show.
Yes.
Can we?
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
So, Troya, we do something different now. When guests come on, let's see.
Okay.
There we go. Because we're just small players in this game while you're here tonight.
Spotlight.
How you been?
I've been wonderful. Hanging in here in these Corona streets, but other than that, I'm doing good.
Well, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Thanksgiving,
right.
Monica,
Happy birthday.
And I still been keeping up with the show too. Y'all are funny. I love y'all.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're just trying to keep all our channels this year and not really we're not going to censor ourselves, but I mean, it is what it is. We got enough Gmail accounts. We create another one. So let's see. I can get it back up. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah.
But the part that you don't realize is just like the answers to intimacy in what you call the head book. It's a survival guide on how to thrive after divorce.
You party.
And you know what? Like, when I think of divorce, it was Dave Chappelle, his last comedy special. He kind of started off talking about how he had COVID. And he was afraid to say something because he felt dirty. And I caught COVID, and I kind of felt the same. People made it feel like, oh, you got COVID. Oh,
yeah.
Like, almost, and it's. I feel like divorce sometimes can be treated like the same way. Like that's
definitely.
I equated them to the same thing because I think to myself, like, a lot of times. Well, I definitely don't want to be divorced, but I'm not fearful of what people would say because I went through a bad breakup when I was engaged, and the woman that I was engaged to, you know, she did some things and my family knew about the things she did. And the reason she said she didn't want to continue to get married because she was embarrassed and really didn't want to be seen around my family again.
Wow. That's awful. I'm sorry that happened to you.
No, fuck that.
Look at you now.
Look at me now.
That's right.
I'm over here uplifting women and everything, didn't I?
You may have been better off with her saying
that. So how was your experience? So how long were you married?
Well, we were together for 12 years, married for almost 9, a little over 8. And then it came to an end. And so we had to learn how to let each other go. We did. He was the one who filed. And we did have to learn how to live and exist without each other because we have a child together. So we had to, what was most important to me, and let me just give context too, from my experience, my parents got divorced when I was 8. And so when I went into it, get married, and I was just like, I will never get a divorce. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, and I was just saying, I'll never get a divorce. Once I get married, that's it. I really want it to last. But everybody says that nobody gets married to get divorced. But so we were together for a while, and a part of how I chose somebody, and even who I would date, I wouldn't date anybody whose parents weren't still together because I felt like, it was that important to me. I was like, I'll have a better chance of being together. And my parents had a really nasty divorce, and it was a mess. So I was like, yeah, I know what I'm not going to do. I'm not doing that. So it really helped me to shape how I wanted to go through it. And then looking back, I learned, of course, a lot of the tools that I did not have to be successful in a marriage, but it helped me to grow. And so I'm definitely better for it. Not happy that it happened, but definitely thankful that I was able to learn and keep going afterwards.
So I got my notes. I told him how.
Would you ever get married again?
Absolutely, yes. If the right person comes along.
Hell no. I told Mike this is a one and done situation.
And I feel the same way too.
One and done. I'm good at that.
I don't know. My reason is.
Yup, just like the college basketball players, one and done.
One and done. I feel like anyone.
One and done. I ain't doing it no more.
Once you've been married for a while and with that person and family and all that, I feel like no woman will ever be able to come in. Like I feel like she would overshadow any other woman.
It depends on the person.
You know my family.
Oh, you talking about me, period.
Yeah, I'm talking about my
in general.
Why my personal why I.
Oh yeah. I'm done with him, but the family is mine.
Yeah, like I feel like
no, the family is not yours.
The family is mine, motherfucker. You.
Okay,
all the friends, all of y'all are mine. Know that.
If you break up with Mike, I'm not Mike's friend no more.
You're mine.
Hey, NJ Richardson.
Hey, LB, I'm sorry. If my bro ain't messing with you when y'all get divorced, I ain't messing with you either.
I don't need you. I also have Kim.
Oh, she ain't gonna mess with you either.
That's
I got a quick question. Though. If you get a divorce, right? Do you get your ring back, or is that petty?
It just it's already yours. So I think like the next week after our divorce was final, my ex-husband he pawned it, and he was like, I took my ring to the pawn shop, and I was like, well, I'm gonna keep mine. But my daughter just turned 18. When she graduates from high school, I already told her I'm gonna give it to her.
Okay,
that's dope.
Yeah, because he worked really hard to buy the ring, and that's when that was a long time ago. In the early 2000s, platinum was big, and it was just coming out, and everybody was getting a platinum ring. So it had a really nice platinum set, and I wanted her to have it.
So there's sentimental value behind it, especially for you with a child involved. Everybody else just be immature and petty.
I think I want my ring back though.
We know, G. We know.
So what about so you said you all were married for 8?
Yes.
So, but at what point? Because I think we all go through the years or months where we know really nothing here, but it's that one, whatever we hold on, whether it's the child or embarrassment, is something that you're holding on to. So about how long of that period, did you go through?
Well, actually, we talked about getting divorced before I got pregnant. We had been married for 3 years, and then I found out I was pregnant. So we was like, okay, let's stay together instead of getting divorced. But I think once you get older, because we were 24 and 25 when we got married, which is pretty young. But I think what happens with a lot of people is as you get older, just naturally on the inside, your desire is to have a more meaningful life. You want to do something that's impactful, and you look at the people that's closest around you to find reason or fault with why your life is not what you want it to be. And so, of course, usually it's your spouse. And I think, when he sat and thought about why he was unhappy and why he wasn't where he wanted to be in life, his reason was that it had to be my fault. And, and so I think he just got to the point where he was just like over it. And we did go through like the separating and him moving out and moving back in and all that kind of stuff. But it's just nothing. He couldn't get to happy. He just couldn't get there. And ironically, and I'm the other way. I just couldn't get unhappy. You know, if I'm in a relationship, I'm happy. If I'm by myself, I'm happy. That's just who I am. I'm gonna be happy. You know, what regardless of what other people do. And most people just can't make their minds up to get to that place where they're at peace and content. So he just couldn't get there.
So with you guys, it because you know you have the people that are constantly fighting, like they're like, listen, we can't do that. But it was just more in your situation. He was unhappy. Was it a shock to you, even in that first almost run? Was it a shock, or did you see or feel his change coming on?
It wasn't a shock. Because you can tell when somebody's not happy and they do want to fuss. And so, you know, just like with any other relationship, I knew, you know, the nitpicking and the fault finding and the constant arguments meant something more than just, you know, he is just not happy about work or just whatever. So, I mean, I wasn't blindsided completely. And I think, let me just say too, I think a lot of times people will say that they're blindsided, but if you really sit and look and listen and just be more in tune to what's happening in your relationship, there's no such thing as really being blindsided. People really will tell you, it may not be directly, but they'll show you and tell you exactly where they are. And if they don't want you, they don't want you. And that's just, you know, that's just what it is.
So I have a real quick. I got a real quick statement. Like I saw something recently. Actually, I saw it this morning. A young lady put up. I'm just gonna paraphrase what she said. She said something along the lines of, "You deserve a person that understands why you sing certain lyrics harder than others on songs. You deserve a person that understands why you have the certain books that you have sitting by your dresser. You deserve a person that understand why you have bookmarked certain things in your books, in your playlists, in audiobooks, and want to know why you've done those things." Yeah. Also, I've had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he always brings up the word trauma. Now, we may use different terms of what that is: pain, past, habits. We can use a lot of different terminologies for it, but I think one of the biggest issues of why people can't get to that happy point is because, for whatever reason, they either don't feel comfortable with addressing past pain or trauma or habits, or they don't know how to address the past pain, problems or trauma. And I think that as partners, I think that's something that we have to look at. Now, that's something that I've just recently had a better understanding of, just through conversations and things that I've listened to, because it is a reality. We react off a habit. Most of the time, the things that we're doing is because of that's what we're used to, or that's what we've seen. I heard you say something earlier on when you said that you wouldn't date a guy unless his parents were together, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I had a friend of mine. He said the same thing. He was going through a divorce with his wife. He said this man had tears in his eyes. I will never forget it. He had tears in his eyes. He said, "Rudy, never date a woman whose parents are not together." He said, because if their parents are together, she has a hard time with divorce. And I think I can I feel what he's saying, because it makes a lot of sense. Like it's a struggle for her.
It does. Yeah. It makes sense. And in both books, actually, I talk about trauma is like the thing that I did not understand everybody deals with, especially when you Black. But we don't allow ourselves to feel a lot of times, because we've been taught by society in so many different ways that, you know, you shouldn't feel it if you're Black, or the pain is not real if you're Black, or just, you know, just jump up and shake it off, and, you know, that kind of thing. But we don't really sit down to intentionally look at who we are, to look at what our experiences have been, to look at what our parents' experiences have been, and how all of those things play into a relationship. But, you know, I think you're absolutely right. We definitely have to begin with trauma, and that's where I start with in both books. You have to look at the trauma that you have experienced in order to really be able to move forward.
Now, I do have a question. Now, a lot of, I guess you could say, a lot of churches now, they they have like, I guess they call like a married or engaged people ministry, and they do suggest, although they don't suggest, they enforce that newly engaged couples start counseling. Do you think that would have helped in your situation? Kind of like open up, like a dialogue.
I'm so glad you asked that, because what we actually did, we lived in Nashville together, and we went to a marriage. It was like a 13, 14 week marriage class there, and then we moved to Atlanta. So we were in a new church, and guess what? We went to another marriage class. So we did a lot of premarital counseling, and we both really loved each other. But that premarital counseling did not consist of identifying your trauma, and we both had it, and neither one of us knew it. And so, I think moving forward, when we really started trying to heal ourselves, we were able to identify what the trauma was and get healing for ourselves, and then move on so that we could be cordial and could be the best version of ourselves.
Right.
You are tuned into the Cooley and the Gang show, live every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are joined by our special guest, friend of the show. Troy, you're my friend in my head too. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I know.
You're my homie. Cheers.
Damn right. Hey, I got my red cup tonight, Troy. Yeah. Author Troya Bishop. Her new book is out now. Hold up. I like to put it up. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. A survival guide on how to thrive after divorce. I highlighted some things out of the book.
Okay.
But so I don't want to jump ahead, because right now it seems like we're talking about, I guess, the realization of, when things aren't going right, the actual divorce. I don't want to jump into I don't want to go into the whole survival part yet. Okay. So let me just stay right where we are as far as like starting off. So what I noticed about the book was the way that it's broken down. You had, I guess, people that went through divorce, and you kind of were you kind of taking their stories and incorporating it with your experience, and so break that down for me, how that process went.
Well, what I actually did was similar to the process for the first one. I just kind of asked people, hey, in people who I kind of felt like they were doing well after divorce, I would call them thrivers. They're thriving after divorce. And I asked them if they would just share a little bit about their story. And I was shocked with how many people said no. A lot of people was like, I'm not ready to talk about it. I really hate that I was divorced. I'm still embarrassed. I'm still mad. And these are people that, that I thought, had moved on and that they were fine. Some of them had remarried. But for the few who did respond, I just let them share their story, and just kind of pointed out how some of the key points about thriving after divorce, not just surviving it, but being able to thrive after divorce, they were able to do that, and how they shared their stories.
And it always comes down to that embarrassment factor.
Yeah.
Like, why is it like a stain? Like, it's like a stain that just won't get off. Like, it's like spilling grease on your favorite shirt. Like,
it is. It's like the scarlet letter A. It is, but it doesn't have to be. And you can just change. You can just make your mind up that that's not what it's going to be for you. And so it's just not. But then too, I was gifted. My aunt, my daddy's youngest sister, always says that I have a gift of just really not giving a shit. And she used to keep it when I was little. And she was like, you have been like that forever. And you could ask, like, I'm still in contact, especially since Facebook, people that I've been in high school with. I honestly what other people think about is just no consequence to me. I'm going to be who I am, and hate it or love it. This is it.
I think
too. I don't have it. I wish I did. But I would swear I wish I did. But my father's like that too. My father said that before. He said, man, I could love somebody to death and never talk to him again. I'm not that way. But one thing that I realized about pain, and maybe that doesn't apply to people that have that way of separation, but one thing I've noticed about painful scenarios, they actually don't go away. I think it's one of those things where, just like a cut, it heals over, but you can still rub that area and still feel the inconsistency. You can still feel that that something happened here. Whatever that something was, you only know. Everybody else may not know. And it's something that I think you live with. I think for the rest of your life, in the back of your mind, there is something that is always there that you try to battle with. At times you do very well, and at times you don't. Again, I don't know if that's something that people who have that ability to separate with a higher level of ease, if they deal with that. But I could speak for myself. Like I still be thinking about somebody I was dealing with in high school, and that you talking about what 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. I still be thinking about that. I still think about that shit. So
are you a Cancer?
Capricorn.
Okay, you love hard. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful thing. But you just, just pick up the pieces and just keep moving. I think that's it's wonderful that you're that way.
Yeah, at times.
Yeah, you ain't playing right. You ain't playing fair. You out of here.
Let me tell you what I think it is. I think you need to nut up, motherfucker. Nut up.
You said I need to what? Yeah.
You need to nut up. You be all right. Shake it off, boy.
Yeah, I know.
No, I understand. Like I can get over things, but I don't forget. I think my problem is, and we had a show about it with Closure. Like I need to know, like what the fuck happened? Like I need to know every detail. Okay, what? Like, all right, what was the issue? Like I just want to know too much. Like I'm an investigator or something. Like I think that's my problem. Like I just have to know. I need that closure. I think that's my biggest problem. I need to know like exactly where did this. If you lied about something, no, come on, just tell me the truth.
Yeah.
That's me.
I still think it's about that trauma shit. Like most of the time, it don't even have nothing to do with you. Especially if you're giving all that you can give, and you're doing the best that you can. It's issues that person has within themselves that they haven't addressed, that they're projecting into your relationship or not.
So is there a way to catch that? Like a person is only going to let you know but so much really about them. Like some things you really just do have to learn as you kind of go through.
Right. And then too, but like you said, it 100% is trauma. But if you're not in that place where you're able to recognize what trauma is, first of all, and how to identify an area where somebody else have experienced trauma and maybe showing you that they have trauma in that area. If you're not aware enough to know that, you just have to grow through it. You have to go through it, and then you have to grow through it. That's just how it goes. And like I said about me and my ex, neither one of us were in a place where we could even identify what was happening in ourselves or one another. So it's no doubt in my mind that he loved me. He knows that I loved him too, but we just were two very unwell people trying to be married, and it just wouldn't work. So looking back, I totally get it. And remember, hindsight is 20/20. So you may not see exactly what it is at the time, but when you look over it, that's where the peace comes from. When you look back and you can see, like, I know I did everything I possibly could to make things work. But the other thing that gives me peace, like you were talking about trauma, what happened last week, one of my dad's sisters died. And
condolences.
Thank you. And so an older friend of the family was trying to console me and some other family members. And in what she was saying, it just really struck me. She said, your aunt was a wonderful woman, and she was smart. Her kids were smart, but she just stayed with that husband too long. And he just ruined her kids and blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, shit. But I mean, she didn't mean no harm. But when I tell you that was the truth, and it struck me, because at first I was like, dang. But then I was like, wow. And that's what I don't want my legacy to be, that I stayed with somebody too long, or that I just left it. And I'm glad that I was able to move on and grow. And, he was able to move on, but still he'll tell you he never got any kind of help for the trauma that he experienced when he was a child. He never did. And so emotionally, in a lot of ways, he's still stuck and not able to grow. And he's been with some wonderful people that I wish he would have married, but he just couldn't grow. Couldn't get to a place of healing because that spot, like you said, is so painful. He doesn't want to touch it, and he doesn't want anybody else to touch it. That's just where he is. And I had to accept that's where he is. That's how, that's just how it goes.
I was just going to say, oh, go ahead.
No, Naya.
I was going to say, I think the reason why divorce seems like a bad word is because, and I watched my parents and my uncles and my aunts and other older people there in their 70s. It's something about the struggle love, and it just sickens me. Where it's like, they don't. It's not like they don't, like you said, they love each other, but they from that old school of one of us going to have to die in order to be free from each other. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't do that struggle love. I can't. If I see like person not trying to evolve, like I'm giving them, help to, well, maybe you should do this. And like, now I want to stay in this spot. I'm like, I can't do struggle love. So I think that's why people kind of look at divorce like, well, you didn't hang in there. It's like, no, I didn't want to. I don't want that struggle love. So I think that's why people look at divorce kind of like as a bad word. Like, why don't you just hang in there?
Because you like you didn't
try.
But struggle
yeah, I mean,
love,
I agree 100%.
Struggle love, that's it.
I ain't with no struggle love either. And I think too, in a relationship, there just got to be some kind of ease to it. Like you don't have to everything. And I understand marriage and relationships is work. That's true. And that's a relationship with anybody, your child, your parent, your dog. But it's going to be, you got to put some time and some effort into it. But there's got to be some ease somewhere, just some peace somewhere. And so I value peace more than anything else. I loved just getting my chill on. So
exactly.
Somebody tell me they're leaving me. Okay, sugar. I'll see you. I'll see you when I.
So tell us about the book starts off with the first chapter 1 is trust yourself. Mm-hmm. And I see there was an acronym broken down for trust, which was total reliance upon spiritual timing.
Right.
Talk to us more about that.
So I got that acronym from my business coach. Her name is Marshawn Evans Daniels. She is a bad mama jamma, but she actually started out as a sports agent. And so she represented a lot of different people, but like me and a lot of other people found herself in a situation where she waited for somebody, and she actually was 30. I think she had just turned 30. She saved herself for marriage, was still a virgin. And the week before she was supposed to get married, she found out that her fiance was sleeping with somebody else and had sex with this woman in the house that they had bought that she never spent the night in. It was just crazy. Yeah. But, and I'm not just telling her business. She wrote a book about it. Hers is in her book. It's in her book. The book is called Believe Bigger, but she is amazing. And so in the book, Believe Bigger, she talks about total reliance on spiritual timing. Everything happens for a reason at a certain time, and you have to trust that, because you don't want to just always live second guessing yourself and saying, what if, and woulda, coulda, shouldas, and just trust that everything is happening for you at the right time and not to you to hurt you. And just know that God got you, regardless of what you decide. You're going to be all right. No matter what somebody else does, you will be fine. You totally have to rely on spiritual timing and just walk in that and know that you will be okay.
So far up. But Dina asks, what parental advice as tips would you give for divorcing parents?
That's a good one. Hey, Dina, I would say always make a decision with your child and their well-being in mind. And just ask yourself, how is this going to help my child? Or is this going to help my child? Is this going to hurt my child? How would my child feel? Because you don't want to look back over your life and say, man, now my kid is on drugs and, all kinds of crazy because I chose to be an asshole instead of trying to work it out. Or I chose to follow American culture and nitpick and fault find in my ex and just, try to nail him to a cross instead of allow him to be human and allow him to be flawed like we all are, and allow him to, just to be messed up because we all got issues. So just always make decisions. Keep your child and their best interest in mind.
There you go.
Now, would you ask the children like how they feel Because I always tell, and even as a little kid, my parents used to have arguments. I used to just straight up ask them, like, "Are y'all getting a divorce?" I just want to know, because I got to decide who I want to go with. Because Daddy can't hair, and Mom, her cooking sometimes ain't all that. So I just feel kids are a good barometer on, because they're innocent and they'll just straight up, like I used to do, ask, "Are y'all getting a divorce?"
Yeah, they absolutely are. Always check in with your children emotionally, ask them, what they think, how they feel, and be as honest as is appropriate. But yeah, I love that, checking in on your kids. And the thing that made me believe that I was a good parent, now other things made me think I'm not, because I have a teenager now. But when my daughter was 12, how kids have a sleepover, and she had maybe like 8 or 9 friends here, and they were all talking about each other's parents and everybody's relationship. And so when they got to my daughter Zoe, and they were talking about our relationship, they were like, "Oh, Zoe, your mom and dad, they got the best relationship out of everybody. They just, they so fun, and they when we together, and they just laughing, and they having a good time with you. You so lucky." And I was, and it just, that was the last thing that I thought that they would say. And I was like, dang, we the only couple out of everybody. Some of her friends' parents had never been married. But for the ones who were married, it was so nasty and contentious that the kids, at a sleepover would just be sitting up talking like that. And I was like, wow, that's one thing that really made me happy, that I did trust myself and my judgment in letting that relationship end.
And
so,
I'm sorry. I was just going to kind of piggyback on the parental thing, and only because I was talking to a friend of mine actually yesterday who is divorced, and it's been a struggle because of the fact of the co-parenting.
Yeah,
has been a real struggles. Like the ex fights tooth and nail everything she does, and there's always issues. And she was saying that even like to the point of just like wanting to move and buy a house, like he's like fighting like the smallest little things. I'm like, the county. I'm like, I thought you just couldn't leave the state. I didn't know you couldn't leave the city. Like you can go over to the next city. But she was like, she was telling me, she was like, I was at my therapist, and she was like, I was just crying. She was like, my therapist finally had to tell me, are you fighting? Like, are you crying because you're constantly fighting? Like, what is your goal here? And she had to realize, like, in everything she's doing, she's fighting to prove a point to him instead of trying to find the best way to just be like, you know what? All right, like, okay, I'll find. I talk with my hands. Sorry. Like, what can I do that will make there be no fight, but also I still have my happy?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is, I think a lot of times as moms, especially, we find happiness and peace when our child is happy and at peace. And moving, I just want to be really transparent with you. Moving out of town, moving to the other side of town where it's not feasible for the dad to pick the kid up and see him on a regular basis is not cool. Because
but that's the thing. It is like he drives, and it wasn't like I'll meet you. But it was like, no, I don't. Anything that he feels will make her happy, he fights against.
I got you.
So that was kind of the situation. So like what she was like, at the end of the day, like, I want a house. I'm gonna still get my house, but okay, I won't move. Into another, city over, so I can have a bigger space. You know what? This ain't gonna be my forever home. I'll sit here, I'll still get my house, and I'll still be happy. And you don't win. You don't win. Like she had to kind of in her head stop fighting.
Yeah.
Him, but also still find a way to have her happy, so that she can move. She's like, at the end of the day, I thought about as long as my kids we out of the space, and my kids have their own space.
Yeah,
that ain't gonna be my forever home. I just got to get through a little bit longer. When my child is 18, and I ain't got to deal with him no more. So let me find that medium, because she realized she was fighting him the whole time instead of just trying to figure out what can I do to even the playing field and just be happy and just shut him the hell up at the same time.
Yeah, I'm glad she got to that place.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some comment. We have some comments in IG. So Brother Nance, shout out to Brother Nance, legendary juice doctor. He says, be adults about separation because you are related once you have children. And remember, emotional availability is key to all relationships. In Circle Promo says, best advice for all men. Don't put nothing in your name. Let her have it. And then get a condo, King. Fuck all that shit.
Yeah, the material stuff, it can get. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, we know who In Circle is. He's
okay.
He's a special guy.
There's comments on this side too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Sonia was saying she understood that you get tired of fighting.
Yeah, and she said, how can the courts decide for you?
And they do.
NJ Rich says, when divorced with children, both parents have to put the well-being of the child first.
You have to be mature enough to do that, though.
But it's hard to be mature if I'm going through what I'm going. First of all, you left me. Don't nobody fucking leave me. Like, I mean, think about it.
Than I can tell you.
But think about, like, as a man, like if your wife come to you,
but it's not always the woman that leaves.
But I'm just speaking from my, like, if I walk out, I'm fine. But if you leave, you gonna leave me. G, what he say in the Temptations? You gonna leave me?
Goddamn, I'm David Ruff.
David Ruff. Nobody leave there.
You ain't nothing without
as a man. Like, it just. Because we so blind. Well, our blinders is on and we don't never see the shit. Like, we know, but we don't really see. How many times you done told me my blinders was on and you done had to sit me down or ambush me in the middle of playing my video games and shit? Like, we need to go. I can't go nowhere and shit, but we gotta have this kind of. Our blinders are on, not purposely, but I mean, emotionally, we are not as smart as women. It just is what it is.
True.
It takes us a little longer to get there. So,
speak for yourself, bro.
Oh, left you on that.
No, we are not emotional. Like, it takes us a longer time than women to get to a emotionally stable place.
Right.
But
I think because females emotional regardless.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, so it takes us a little longer to, we gotta.
And then by the time y'all get there, because y'all was too busy with your blinders on, we are now empty and done. And now y'all are here feeling what we felt or trying to catch up. And now our emotional, now we like this. You should have listened.
Right.
Listen a long time ago. I'm over it. I don't care no more.
Left the building.
Yeah, but even just in the practical sense, to address some of the comments, what people were saying about court, I think Sonia said, how can the courts decide for you? But one thing that helped me practically, because kind of like what you were saying in terms of how the guy was just being difficult. I don't want to make it seem like my ex-husband was not being difficult, because people who know him just in general as a person, when stuff ain't wrong, he just is a difficult person, because that's just who he is. And I chose to love him. And number one, I had to accept that. In divorce, that's who I chose to marry, and that's who I chose to love. So I was gonna have to figure it out on the end. And that's taking responsibility for my choices. And so the other thing is to, just in a practical sense, what I did was I took my favorite picture of my daughter. And when I put it, you know how when your cell phone you can have a profile picture? Is that me?
Mm-mm.
Oh. So when he called her, that my favorite picture of her would pop up, and it would say, I changed his name to She's Worth It. So that immediately gives me a feeling, and I see that affirmation that she's worth it every single time he would call. And it would just be a reminder of, no matter what he says, you have to stay centered in the fact that she is worth it. And that really helped me to evolve. Because, like Mike said, how you gonna leave me? But and it does hurt, and it is even more embarrassing when you're the one that get kicked to the curb. But you gotta just pick yourself up and just kind of keep it moving. And I was just determined that I was going to I was gonna have a good life anyway.
That part right there. That part.
I'm sorry, Mac, you still need me to email that? Or you
No, I got it. I'm good now.
All right. Sorry, y'all. So NJ Rich is going to, the professor has some technical difficulties, and I like to have a nice panel. So NJ Rich is going to pop in a second. NJ Rich I didn't even realize NJ Rich had been divorced before. Until he said it. I didn't realize that. But Sonia has another comment. Sonia says, I thank God my son is 16 and he can decide what he wants. My ex was very difficult. How you cheat and go file a protection order on me. Dismissed. I hope now he never want to deal with the courts anymore.
Wow. What do you mean, Sonia? How? He cheat. You find out, murder on mine. I need a protective order because she's gonna kill me. That is how.
I'd be scared of shit too.
That is how. That is how.
I need some assistance, sir, when I go pick my child up.
Yeah, but I think too. I like to encourage Black people as much as possible. Can we please leave the court out of our business? Y'all, the whole child support thing was not set up for us to be helped. It just wasn't. And it doesn't matter what you file in court. When you are filing something on somebody else, it's to really harm them for a long time. And kind of like to the point where he was saying earlier, well, white people do it, and people like to justify by using that. I really hate that passionately too. Let's not do that. Even if you have to go to the church mother, if you got to go find a pastor, if you don't go to that church or whatever to figure out child support or what you're gonna do it that way. Don't put the white folks in your business. Just don't. They're not gonna help you. Even if they give you these little 2 nickels and dimes. First of all, he don't make that much money anyway. I mean, some people may have a baller or whatever. That's different, but he ain't making that much money anyway. If he don't want to pay child support, don't worry about it. Most of us are believers, especially at a certain age. So you have to decide. I'm gonna tell you, like God told me when I was praying before I wanted to put my ex on child support, because he was supposed to pay alimony and child support because I wasn't working when he decided to leave. And when I was praying, God spoke very firmly to my spirit. And he said, well, who do you want to take care of you? Him or me? And that hit me like a ton of bricks. I said, well, I guess you. And he said, well, I guess you don't need to go to court then. And so, and I let it go, because you really have to decide on who do you want to be your provider? Jehovah, God, Jesus, Allah, whatever you want to call the Most High. Who do you want to provide for you? Who do you want to really protect you? God or him? Okay. Now I'm off my preaching soapbox.
But that's real.
We want to welcome NJ.
My baby mother spoke to him before I went downtown.
What's going on, NJ Rich?
Peace. How's everybody doing?
What up, Nick?
So you say he goes and puts himself on child support.
That's on him.
Somebody hit the button. He get 2 of them.
He did not want to deal with Sonia at all. So he knew Sonia was coming with the wrath. He did not want to deal with her. He was like, let me go get my protective order. Let me go and get you your child support. Listen, leave me alone.
Yeah, he get the donkey of the day.
So I don't remember what chapter of the book this was, but you will if I tell you. So at it was the 5 most important ways to raise your level of consciousness in order to thrive after divorce. I think it was page 56 when it started talking about those things, the 5 most important ways to thrive. I think it was find your purpose, connect with other people in service, adopt forgiveness as a lifestyle. That was a big stone somebody just got hit with right there.
Yeah, a lifestyle.
Control your thoughts and actions and reconnect with nature. Spending your time in a meaningful and intentional ways will help you thrive after divorce.
Yeah.
Troya, I was ready for you today.
Because let me talk a little bit about the adopt forgiveness as a lifestyle. Because when people ask me what my religion is, usually I'll either say love or I'll say forgiveness. Because throw people out, or if I really want to tell the truth, I say football. But I mean, I think you have to be so intentional with making sure that you love other people and that you allow space for them to be human and allow space for them to be wrong, that you turn it into a lifestyle. That's how intentional you have to be, especially if you Black and especially if you're loving somebody that's Black. Because remember, from the time we were ripped off the shores of Africa, we've never really been taught to love each other or rewarded for loving each other or taught or rewarded to be compassionate to one another. And so living a lifestyle of forgiveness and being intentional in that way really helps you to be free to live, and it helps you to be free to receive the good things that are headed your way.
Yes, because that is one that you really definitely needed to touch on first, because that was a big stone.
Do you have anything in there that speaks on after living that forgiving lifestyle, if the person keeps doing the same shit over and over again?
Well, you have to forgiving somebody doesn't mean that you allow them to continue to treat you the same way. With forgiveness comes boundaries. Yes, I forgive you, and I can forgive you from right here while you over there. And because I have a responsibility to protect myself, to protect my own mental health, my emotional health. And for me now, especially now that I'm older, my energy, I can't be around everybody. People who are negative, that's fine. Especially that's what, like, I have a limited amount of time, even with social media, because some people are just negative and they can't help it because that's what they're used to. And that's fine. And I have to allow them to be who they are. And I have to set a boundary for myself and say, you can do that over there, and I'm gonna go here and have my peace and happiness and my joy with my coffee or champagne or whatever I'm sipping at the moment.
Yeah, because I noticed that you have some people that's really just thrive on drama. You know, I mean, it's like they like not happy unless they're going back and forth with somebody or disagreeing with someone. You know, so it's like some people are self-destructive. Like they put themselves in these situations and then get mad at the other person for calling them out on it, when this is, you know, this is the attitude and this is the actions that they are portraying. So it's like people like that, I mean, you will have to put them at a real far distance. Okay, I forgive you for that last shit you did, but guess what? I ain't going to give you another chance for me to have to forgive you. You're going to have to get far away from me.
Right.
But you also got to remember that forgiveness is not for the person who's done you harm either. Forgiveness is for you. It's for your peace of mind, because when you don't forgive, you hold on to anger, you hold on to hurt, and that shit will eat you up from the inside out.
I can forget about a person and still not forgive them. Like, it depends on who it is, though. You know what I mean? It's like, but with me, I don't have anyone that close to me that put me in that situation, you know. Well, I ain't even gonna say that. I'm lying right now. My brother. But I can push him to the side and I can look at his call and ignore the shit out of him all the time. And, you know, but it's just like, I don't know how you would, I mean, that's deep right there. Making forgiveness a lifestyle. That's deep.
It's a part of growth. It's a part of maturing, a part of growth. And like you said, especially in a situation where you're walking away from a marriage, something that it's a part of you. You've been a part of for so long, and this is all you really now know. And now you're kind of rediscovering who you are and getting your footing. Like, it's going to be hard to do that if you can't forgive the hurt that you went through to now be on this other side, because you're going to keep reaching back to that hurt, those situations.
Absolutely.
If you don't forgive it, put them blind, you know, you got to forgive, put your blinders on and be able to move forward. And that within yourself will allow you to have a happier life.
Yeah.
But you're tuned into
the get divorced, I'm becoming a hoe.
You're tuned into the Cooley and the Gang Show live every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're joined by our special guest author, Troya Bishop, whose book, Life Doesn't Have to Be Perfect to Be Wonderful, a survival guide on how to thrive through divorce, is out right now and available for you to purchase. And that's what we want everybody to do. Check this book out. This is not her first book. This is not her first rodeo. Troya is a very intelligent woman, and we love having her on the show. Always full of knowledge. And she's not afraid to check me. And anybody that comes on here is not afraid to, you know, let me know. I can take it. I have a clip that I coincidentally saw on Instagram this week that I feel fits what we're talking about, and I want to play it.
Okay.
Somebody laughed. Who was that? Linnea, is that you?
No, that was me. I was laughing at something else.
That's not a part of the show?
It could be.
Stick to the script, LB.
I'm sorry, somebody plotting on my son. Listen, he got girls in the street plotting on him. We gotta try to make sure he don't end up divorced. Come on now.
All right, let's play this real quick. So the title, How Can He/She Just Walk Away and Start Over with Someone Else? Here's why.
About how can he just walk away and leave and start a new family, get married, have children. And I was one of those guys that walked away from relationships, started over. And there's many reasons why, but take it from me, this is my reason why. A lot of times the woman that I was with was too much for me. She had too many, her morals, she had morals He had character and integrity. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have a relationship with God. I didn't believe in God for a long time. So it was easy for me to just pick up and go. And I also relied more on my childhood instincts, my survival instincts. When I felt like you were getting too close to me and I wasn't the guy that you originally met, I would start ghosting and disappear, running away, hiding. I become quiet or become silent. Now, the reason why I would move away, like I said, you were too much for me. You have morals, integrity, character. You wanted more than I wanted out of life. You wanted more than I thought I could possibly provide for you in life. It may not have been that much, but I just didn't think that deep enough inside myself to say, okay, I can be still. I can do this. I can do this for. I couldn't. It was always flight for me. It was always I'm out of here. But the reason why I chose another woman or to go start over because she was the path of least resistance. I didn't want anybody to challenge me. I didn't want anybody to question me. I wanted to come and go as I pleased, and I found women that allowed me to do that. They were easy to please. They were easy to talk to. They wouldn't question me. If I left the house, it's like leaving. When I got ready to leave, she would question me. She would text, and I would be so angry and mean to her that she wouldn't text or anything or say anything anymore about that. And so I would keep her at a minimum. I would keep her under control. I would keep her not knowing. I would keep her unaware, which was very disrespectful. It was very rude. It was very cruel. But don't think just because a man leaves you and he starts another relationship or has a baby or even gets married, don't think that they're doing it because she's better than you. That's what a lot of y'all think that. That's not necessarily true. And in most cases, we do that. I did. I left because she was less than you. And you were more than I was. So I wanted somebody that was less than me, somebody I can control, somebody I can dominate, somebody I can do what I wanted to do with, somebody I can go and come and go with, but that wasn't nice. That wasn't fair. It was real sick of me. And that's the way I thought for a very long time. It was easy for me to get women, but it was hard for me to keep women. I didn't have longevity and I didn't have staying power. I told you I was a piece of shit for a long time. I have to admit those things. I'm on this journey. God put me on this journey. I didn't ever plan to talk about my narcissism. I didn't plan to talk about my weaknesses. I didn't plan to talk about how inept I was. I woke up one day last summer, and it just would happen. So I didn't even ask for it, but I kept my soul open. I kept my spirits open. And I started living a better life, start being nice to people, start being nice to myself, my kids and friends. And so my spirit and soul was open to the blessings, and that's how I received them. When I was mean, angry, disrespectful, dysfunctional, pissed off all the time, rude, my spirit and my soul was closed off. So just because a person leaves you for somebody else doesn't make it seem like, doesn't mean that they're better than you. Have a good day.
When I actually watched that, and I was like, you know what? I was like,
I get a lot
much respect for him being honest about his journey. You know what I mean? Because a lot of men would not be that honest about who they were or who they may even still be, or be able to even recognize that that's the type of person that they were, and this is what they were doing to the women in their lives. But from a female's perspective, hearing it, I mean, I don't know if that was ever one of my past situations or not, but hearing that is like one of those things. It's like, damn, because you don't think of it from in that aspect. Like, I don't think I would have ever thought that a dude leaving me and ended up with another female, that he left me for her because she was less than me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because we always supposed to strive for better. Like, so, you immediately think, but, we probably looking like, you went to that? But, what I mean, in our minds, we're thinking he thinks she's better. She has more to offer or X, Y, and Z, not realizing that, wow, he chose her because I wouldn't put up with his shit. Because I'm going places that he's not ready to go to. Like, he did me a favor. Like, we don't look at it from that side. So hearing that is really one of those, like, damn, bro.
Yeah, he's a self-aware dude, to be able to realize that and then to make a change. That takes a lot. Most men is not going to admit that to their self, alone the world,
right?
But I mean, it does make sense, because if you think about it, that's the same type of syndrome, and not with all people, not with all though, but like that's the same type of syndrome that you get when you look at a black man with a white woman. It's just like I said, not all situations. Just some guys feel like a white woman is less aggressive than a black woman, and they don't want to deal with that. Don't want them, like he's saying, questioning them or challenging them. So they go with the person that's going to challenge them the least, and then you get with that relationship and you really think this is love. But you just settling because you don't want to step up and be the man that you need to be. So you want somebody that's not going to push you to do that. So I mean that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, as a person who's been divorced, and since remarried, uh, I'll say this: being after my life after my divorce was 10 times better than my life before. It is it is something that you have to deal with internally, and that's what I'm getting about the points from Dr. Bishop's book. Um, you have to deal with yourself before and after divorce. You have to deal with yourself before you get into a relationship. One of your first relationships is a relationship with yourself and learning how to deal with yourself, good, bad, and indifferent. So learn more about yourself through the eyes of other people because they can show you things that you may be blind to. But in wanting to learn about yourself, that information, hopefully you can take it in and like that last brother said, and try to make yourself better. If you don't realize it yourself, then your experiences hopefully show you some of those things that you need to change, and then you have to put in the work to do it. You have to. I mean, life is work. It's not even about struggle. It's about work. It is work to be a good person. It is work to have a good relationship. It is work to be a good parent. I mean, all facets of your life, there is a certain measure of work. But I think when we attach the word struggle to it, it adds a negative connotation to it. I think people are in relationships and some can work through the issues, and there are some issues that you cannot work through. And so when you're in a relationship, you have to know enough about who you are and what you want, not just from another person, but what you want for and from yourself to even bring into a relationship. And oftentimes, in my experience, people aren't as self-aware as they would need to be. I will say this: I was not self-aware enough in my first marriage to know that I shouldn't have been married. I was married younger. I shouldn't have been married, and I fell into what the societal norms were supposed to be. At the time, I had a decent job. I was dating a girl. It's like, okay, the next step was marriage, but I shouldn't have married her when I married her because I wasn't ready to be a husband at that time. So you go through these growing pains and you have to learn sometimes through the work through the work of a breakup, through the work of a divorce, and on how to be a better person. So it is this story, this book that I'm hearing, these keys that Mike is bringing out, that talks more about your internal work with yourself after being a divorce to get to a measure of your life that you deem as peaceful, comfortable, in a positive direction. Because I think the word happiness is to me, I'm gonna be honest, it has too many connotations. I mean, so one person's happiness is another person's happiness is another person's happiness. So and your happiness can be destructive to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like Mac was saying, some people live for drama. They're happy in drama. That drama is destructive to the people around you. So, whatever your level and measure of peace, prosperity is, I think this book tells you the internal keys for you to get there.
Yeah.
And NJ Rich brought up a lot of good points in that. And Shannon and I talk about this all the time. People's perception of what a marriage should be and what your marriage should be. Troya, how do you feel that kind of adds on to a lot of downfalls in marriages? Because people come in thinking like, oh, well, this is how it should be, when in reality, my mind, our marriage is whatever we decide. It's like whatever we decide, this thing is going to be right here. That's our blueprint. My blueprint is not going to be the same as yours. So, do you think that adds to a lot of issues in marriages?
It does. It really does. I think expectations a lot of times have to be kind of low. I'm not saying that you don't expect somebody to be a good person, but you have to really negotiate what you expect. And just like as human beings, we all have different individual fingerprints because we're unique. Your marriage, your relationship is going to have a different fingerprint because it's unique. And you can't make yours be what somebody else's is. It has to be that different that fits specifically you and your partner.
I also believe that, you have to go through failed relationships in order to learn how to, carry yourself in a good relationship or give love to other people. Like sometimes you just go into a relationship because you think a person is cute, and you really don't even want to get to know a person. You're just looking at like, I'm in a relationship, and then you don't know what to do, and then that thing fails. But you come out of that. If you're paying attention, like Rich said, if you want to learn about yourself, then you could take out of that relationship things that that you may have done wrong. It could do better that can help you in the next one. But like you said, a lot of people do that insanity thing. They keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So like I say, if you fail in a relationship and don't learn from it, you're going to repeat the same mistakes going forward. Pretty much.
Yeah, and then too, so many people just don't want to look at themselves, and the conversation always is, if somebody asks you why'd you get divorced, girl, he was crazy, or she was crazy, and she just like her mama, stuff like that. Instead of people really taking some time to be introspective and think about, who am I? Who did I choose? Why did I allow this in my life? Why did I attract this in my life? That's all on me. And I think really being introspective and taking time to look at yourself helps you to heal. It helps you to survive after divorce, and then it helps you to thrive. But it helps you to be just a better person overall. But that's not the American way. That's not the American thing. Like, we really encourage people to look outside and to fuss and fight and tear people down. But that just can't be your way if you want to heal and be a better person. And what I learned early is that I was choosing someone whose their love felt like that relationship that I had with my mom, which was very unhealthy. And I didn't know that. But it took some getting some work to do. And to really discover that. And we gotta be willing to go through that process. It hurts, but you'll be better for it when you let yourself go through that.
You are tuned into the Cool in the Gang show live every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We appreciate you all for tuning in with us tonight. Everybody, don't forget, hit that share button. It's free. We appreciate everybody on IG Live, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. We appreciate you all tuning in, and we appreciate everybody that listens to us every week when we put the audio out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. I don't not appreciate anything. We appreciate you, Troya, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
The book is out right now. Please go and check it out. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. A survival guide on how to thrive through divorce. Somebody needed this tonight, I believe. I am spiritual, but I'm not in church every Sunday. But when the Spirit moves me, can I get an amen, Big G?
Amen, brother.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. Won't he do it?
Really won't.
Let me just add one thing too, because you mentioned earlier the part about reconnecting with nature. Even if you've never been through a divorce, one thing that I want all human beings to do: take a moment and to just think about when you were a kid, especially in our generation, how good it felt to go outside and play. And if you allow yourself to reflect back on when did you stop loving going outside, that's really telling on who we are and where we are. Because being outside, you can kind of feel your skin better, you can feel the wind, you can feel the sun, and you feel good to get that natural air, that oxygen. And so many times we're not even breathing. and we don't realize it. And it's so important to just reconnect with nature. Go to the beach, go swimming, be outside, fall in love again with outside. And what's really hurtful to me as somebody that loves nature, when I'm dating people like my black guy friends, they always be like, girl, you need to see a white man because black men won't go outside like that. And I get it because it'd be bullets flying for us a lot of times. But allow yourself to just go reconnect with nature. It feels so good. I didn't know um until the first time that I got on a jet ski that I needed to get on a jet ski and just how exhilarating that was. And it was fun. And my friend had come back from Afghanistan. So we had a party. We went to Lake Mead in Vegas after we had fun turning up at the casinos. And we went to the lake. We got on jet skis and just rode. And when we got to the middle of the lake, we turned them off. And he was like, everybody just jump off. Let's just go swimming. And we did. That was some of the most fun that I've had in my adult life. But I think because we don't do stuff outside that's fun and just allow ourselves just to be free. It's so much liberty and so much love outside. We're getting your hair wet and just letting the wind blow. You'll be all right.
Amen.
And you don't need a divorce to do that. Just go.
Just go outside.
I want to go outside.
Basically, just ground yourself, because that's what I like to do. Go walking in the nearby park and have my son. Try not to have my son because I like to sit and meditate, but he likes to play in the rocks. It does do something to you.
It does, and research shows they have. Well, and I included it in the book, but there's a lot of different studies. It doesn't matter what continent the research came from, because I like to look at research from different continents and what's going on in different places. But it's not just that everybody has heard about how exercise helps lower blood pressure. Just being outside, even if you're sitting, it's shown to lower blood pressure like for 45 minutes or longer. You can be standing, you can walk, but even just being outside. Think about your grandmama and them sitting outside on the porch and how they just love being outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. Getting that fresh air, letting the wind blow, seeing people walk past and smiling. That really lowers your blood pressure. So that's something that you can do that will directly affect not only your physical health, but also your mental health. Help you be at peace and help you get your blood pressure down.
Sonia says nothing stops me from gardening and planting and fishing. Okay, Sonia, don't be out here stunting on us like that. Hey, there you see that, G? Sonia going to catch the fishies, baby. Big
yeah,
G
she a country girl like me. We love outside.
Sonia says she out there planting, fishing. Sonia, what you planting?
Put your hand in the dirt. That's what my great grandma used to do.
Is it fruit and veggies or is it
play in the dirt?
Play in the dirt.
Well, she liked to plant, but she said
most women would be like, I played in dirt through this whole marriage. I ain't trying to play in dirt no more.
Shit.
That's just grounding. That was just, they country folks. So she always made sure she stayed close to the ground, had her little pretty marigolds and stuff. So she said always helps with your hands, helps with your arthritis. So all it was is grounding. You're just grounding yourself.
And watch out for signs. Like you said, there's always signs, and whether we choose to.
I'm about to say, a lot of times the problem is we just don't want to see the signs, and we don't realize it until we sit back and that video plays in our head, and you be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I remember when.
But I always say that for a reason. I got a video for that. So this is a young lady that I realized didn't watch out for signs, and I'm gonna have to let the video play again because I think it already happened. Whatever happened.
Yes. Is you gonna have my baby?
Hold up, I'm sorry. Let me go back.
Yeah, I saw that stupid shit.
Is you gonna have my baby?
Say yes.
Is that a gun?
Is you gonna have my baby?
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
Say yes, or the next one gonna hit you.
Yes.
Be quiet. Be quiet.
Where'd you shoot it? Did you put a hole somewhere?
Is you gonna have my
baby? Stop pointing at me.
You wake the neighbors up. For you wake the neighbors up.
Like, where'd you even?
Is you yo?
Yes. I said yes. I'm going to have
you swear to God.
I swear to God.
Yeah, he let a shot off.
Say yes.
I swear to God, I'm going straight to the police. You said don't put the white man in our business. I'm putting the white man in my business. I'm going straight to the police.
Those are signs. That's like
that the minute she leaves him, he's going to kill her. He's going to kill her.
Wow. Yeah, that was bad.
That was very bad.
Why? I guess my question is, why do you feel the need to try to pressure somebody to have your child? What is it about? This is my thought. Like, what is it about you as a man that needs to pressure a woman to have your child? If you have to go through those measures to have a child with somebody who may or may not truly want to have a child with you, why bring a child into a relationship that is that destructive, where you'll end up passing on, either consciously or subconsciously, the same crap, because that's what I'm going to call it, that you just showed in this video for the whole world to see? Why would you want to subject your child to that when this is the method you've chosen to convince the child's mother to bear a child for you?
Yeah.
Well, your first instinct, you messed up when you say man, because ain't no man doing no stupid shit like that.
There
So
you go.
that right there was, I feel like they was well under the 25 age limit. You just letting off shots in the apartment. So that's not a man. So we can't rational his thoughts and that shit. So yeah, that was kind of stupid. So
But I played
ain't no man doing no shit like that.
It sounds like that like, when you're young, like you just don't pay attention to things like
you gotta
that.
think in that circle that they roll in at their age, that shit probably was cool. She probably gonna go brag about that shit to her homegirls.
Let me tell you what this did last night.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm thinking, because he sounded a little bit angry, so I think maybe she told him that she was going to get an abortion, and that was his response.
If it was, then I hope she said what she had to do to get out that room.
And he'll be the motherfucker that don't even take care of the kid.
That part.
Yeah, that was scary.
All right, so let me lighten it up. I was going to hit y'all with something else, but let me hit y'all with this. And I'm curious. This is something else I saw online. This is and I'm gonna give everybody a chance to kind of pick what they want. Sorry, get myself. So it says you're an adult now. You can only pick 3: a good paying job, free internet, a good sex life, caring partner, good health, a tour around the world.
That is hard.
That ain't hard at all.
That ain't hard at all. Now I'm going to. All right, let me see. So Max, since you said it ain't hard, I'm gonna start with you, Max. So what 3 did you pick?
I pick a good paying job, good sex for life, and good health.
Good paying job, good sex. It don't say for life. It just say a good. Well, I guess yeah.
Oh, good sex. Well, yeah. I take that. Because you think about it, if you got a good paying job, you can get the internet, and you can tour around the world. If you got good sex, you can get a caring partner.
No. I get where you going with that, but go ahead.
They my 3.
All right, so Max had a good paying job, a good sex life, and
good health.
Good health. All right, I'm just gonna go right in order. NJ Rich.
Good health in this order. Good health, a caring partner, and a good paying job. In that order.
So you would take a caring partner with not good sex?
Yes, because at a certain stage in your life, sex just becomes another workout. So, I mean, I understand the intimacy of it all, but the caring partner, there's an intimacy in the relationship without sex. I mean, so I would rather have somebody who will stand by my side, support me, have my back, and be able to have a job to support them in whatever endeavors that they have, and a good health, so we can do this for the long haul. Then
you beat it up right, they're gonna be caring.
All right, Troya, what's your 3?
Okay, so I'll definitely pick good health, and then a tour around the world. I don't need no job, and a caring partner.
Yeah, if you're touring around the world, you definitely ain't got to that's my job. I'm going to every last country, and I'm eating every last thing that I'm the type of person I'm going to try the food that don't nobody else want.
All right,
Frogs,
Anthony Bourdain.
snails, give me all
So
that.
you gonna eat that wiggly
Anthony Bourdain.
Let it move.
No, you can have that.
And sex is important, but we'll figure it out. We going around the world, we'll figure the sex part out.
It's got to hit on 10 somewhere along the line. One of them countries, somebody got hit number 10. Somebody got to ring that bell. Big G, what's your 3?
So I saw this on Twitter. I actually did it earlier, and we had a big long debate. So mine was number 5. I think
Good
number
health.
1. Yeah, number
A good
5 was
paying
my
job.
number 1. Number 1 and number 6.
A tour around the world. So G said good health, a good paying job, and tour around the world.
Yeah, that was
Lene.
mine.
All right, I'm gonna go with number 1, number 4, and definitely number 6 because I like to see different places and different cultures.
You gonna go sick though, huh?
I was about to say Lene.
No, I drank Pale Bismol. I have done it before I went to the DR.
That's funny.
Shannon, what are your 3?
Number 5.
Good health,
Number 2.
free internet. What the fuck?
Listen, if I got my free internet, I'm gonna run my business.
Okay.
Because my business, all of the ones that I'm building are internet based. So I need that free internet so I can make my good money.
I'll say good health, free internet.
And don't kill me, but give me the good sex life. I don't know. I don't necessarily need a partner. Yo, Tommy,
Yo.
Joe,
Bruh,
I
yo.
need you for what I need you for.
Yo, push the bruh button in the gunshot, Joe. Shoot the gun a couple times.
I'm just saying. I already told y'all. He's a 1 in a million. If it wasn't him, Shannon would have never been married. That's on my daddy.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's on my daddy.
No.
So yeah,
That's funny.
those both my boo. There you go. 2, 5, and 3. Go on, boo. Your turn.
You were probably the only person in America that said free internet.
That's fine because my free internet is gonna get me paid though. My business is internet based. I don't want to work for nobody else.
All right.
Well, she's not. Like I said, I saw this on Twitter earlier, and she wasn't the only one that said the internet. But it was crazy. Nah, for real. It was a couple people that said internet. But I was surprised to see that I was probably the only person that had number 6.
A tour around the world.
Yeah, everybody wanted the partner.
Troy said that.
No, I'm saying, like I said, when I saw it on the internet, everybody wanted the partner, the good sex, and the money. Or it was good health, good job, good sex, but it was never none of the number 6s was up there.
With a good job, you can tour the world.
Exactly.
I guess.
It's a game
and
plan,
with me touring the world, I hear you, but with me touring the world, I can have good sex.
Not necessarily. I know a lot of people with good jobs. They ain't never been nowhere. So many people, because when you have a good job, you caught up into it being a good job, and don't want to lose
be at
it.
work, Mike.
Yep.
Why do you hate the fact that I go to work?
If I do the tour around the world, I need to know where my next penny gonna come from, though.
I got you.
But I figure if you traveling around the world, you good.
You already got it, huh?
Yeah, something must be right.
Well, that's
let
not
us
true.
know in the room. Everybody that's watching, listening.
You ain't do your list,
let me know what your numbers are.
You ain't do yours.
Yeah, Mike. Go ahead. Your turn, Mike.
I would definitely take number 6. I don't know. I really would take that tour around the world. Good health, definitely. And
you're the marriage type. Go ahead and say 4.
Out 4. Like,
go ahead, you're the marriage type. Go ahead and say 4.
As I've gotten older, I realized I need to be loved. Like I need to be held. I need to be held tonight. Like I need I G, fuck you. I don't give a shit what you gonna text me.
Because you know I'm gonna text you when we off this, right?
Hold me.
But here's my question about the tour around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say that if somebody else is giving you the tour, that you're going to get to all of the countries you want to get to? Around the world doesn't mean all of the countries. It just means around the world.
Your ass gonna be on a drive-by around the world.
You can go to one country on each continent and be considered around the world. And so that doesn't mean you're going to the country that you would want to. And plus, it's a tour. So it's not.
And
it ain't no take backs now. You should have had that.
You may just
the game, baby.
You may just jump off of one plane, zoom down the street. Somebody on a tour bus show you all of the sites. You get to another plane later that day, and you back on the friendly skies to your next tour of your next.
Yeah, but I think that's a big reach. We say free internet. Is free internet for today, or is that for the rest of your life? You know what I mean?
It doesn't say. It doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. So it's a whole lot of loot.
That's why I don't like playing games with y'all. Now, we
can't have fun.
So Sonia says, Sonia wants 5, 4, and 3. So Sonia said good health, caring, and a good sex life. Sienna said a tour is not an experience.
There it is.
See, how?
Okay, so realistically, the best one is gonna be the good sex for life. Like that's until one of us dies.
But see, that's it. It ain't for life. It just says good sex life. But that
so it says you're an adult now. You're an adult now. This is all you can choose. So I'm assuming this is for the rest of your life. This is all you can choose. You have to pick between these 6 for the rest of your life. What you gonna do?
All right, let's go to IG. So shout out to Arthur. Arthur says 1, 5, and 4. Just so a good paying job, good health, and a caring partner.
Okay.
The hell, I believe everybody's basically
except
said good
Linnea.
health. Except Linnea don't give a shit.
She said
give me my Pepto and my Robitussin. I'm good.
Y'all lying too. Y'all lying because
I'm not lying.
You gonna have a caring partner with terrible sex? That ain't.
But I didn't pick caring partner.
You're gonna be the uncaring partner. After that, after a while, you gonna be the uncaring partner.
But if there's some emotion involved somewhere along the line, there's got to be something good in the sex.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Here's what I know about that, man. I know some older couples who physically can't get it in,
and they angry,
and they love each other.
They angry.
How long they been together though?
No. They've
been together.
Forever. They've been together forever.
There you go. Somebody was getting that back banged out until they couldn't no more.
But back then they were spitting each other's mouth and shit. Yeah, that's cool. They did it already.
Listen, Rich. When I'm 80 and 90 and all I can do is sit around, then give me the caring partner. Because we're gonna sit around and carry around, watch Jeopardy all day together.
Don't nobody care
about
you. Shut up! I gotta keep about you. Care about you later.
I want to be 80 and we still spitting each other's mouth. We love each other. We doing some nasty shit. You know what I'm saying?
I hate it.
She on top, her little titty just hanging real far down. Yeah,
and there is Big G.
But you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because we talked about in the first book how sex and intimacy are not the same thing. And I interviewed a lot of married couples. You would be surprised how many people do not kiss. Like French kiss with tongue, a lot of people don't. That's intimacy. That's a connection. A lot of people don't do that. I can't be with nobody and not kiss. I love kissing.
Troy, I just seen something in one of these groups on Facebook that I'm in, and they were talking about kissing, and I always go straight to comments with everything. I'm just one of those little nosy people that come and see something juicy. The first place I'm going is comments.
Yeah.
And I was amazed at how many people felt that kissing is nasty. Like even with their partner, like tongue kissing to them is just so nasty. And I'm like, how do you have a relationship with somebody and have that level of intimacy and you don't kiss them intimately like that? Like I kiss my mom and my grandmother like that.
I think that it's impossible to do that though. It's like
not. Troy, there's people who think it's disgusting.
I was married to one. I know. I'm telling you. He didn't like kissing. A lot of people don't like kissing.
I would have left him early.
I'm gonna be 80 years old. Yeah, I'm gonna be 80 years old, taking my teeth out my mouth and putting them in her mouth, and we gonna do all that. We doing all that shit.
I know that's right.
I want to try her dentures and shit. I'm having no gold teeth on one side. She got a gold teeth on the bottom. We can take them out and mix it together. Yeah.
Why do I see that for G? Wow.
I'm telling you.
Justin, yo, you nasty.
Gold teeth.
That's
It
love
is
right
stuck.
there. That's love right there.
We gonna swap teeth.
He'd be so serious, though. That's the funny part.
Oftentimes, like when you're in your day to day, you know, most people like they do kissing and they peck. They do a peck here. You know, your husband, wife go off to work. You do a peck on the cheek or you do a peck on the lips or wherever, and it becomes the routine. It's really not even. People may not want to do it. I can understand some people may not want to do it, but you know, in your day to day, you're not slobbing your wife down when you go pick up from work. You know what I mean? Some people may, but you know, the average, whatever that average is, most people, they see that their significant other, they give them a peck on the lips, peck on the cheek or whatever. And then that just becomes what it is. You know what I mean? And so you have to be intentional about the intimacy in the kiss if that is what you want to do. But you like Dr. Bishop said, you the other person has to feel the same way about it. And if there is a difference, that's a conversation.
That's crazy. I'll walk up to my wife while she's talking on the phone and tongue her down.
We did not need to know all that. But you can
That's
tell
a
a lot
love
in a
language.
kiss. Like a kiss tells a lot.
It
That's a
does.
love language.
And
That really
people
does.
don't realize, like people don't, they just think kiss is a kiss, but there's a lot that's told in a good kiss.
Yeah.
Now that's a book right there.
Yep.
There you go, Troy. Go ahead and do what you gotta do so nobody steal it from you.
That's yours, Shannon. You write that one.
I ain't write no book. I'll read the books. I don't write books.
All right, I got another one for y'all, and this will probably take us to the bang bang. So this was a question that was posted on Facebook by a young woman, and I'll put it up. Why do men want women to bring something to a table y'all invited us to?
Shit. My grandmother invited me to Thanksgiving dinner, but want me to bring something. So why not?
Oh my God! Something to a table y'all invited us to.
So it helped me understand am I understanding this right? So Miss Quinn is wondering why she has to come in empty-handed and not bring nothing.
Let's not just put it on Miss Quinn. She was just.
I mean, she's asking a question.
She was posting a question.
So I have to address who's asking the question. Right. Is asking.
And I had some comments from.
Why is it that women or men or whoever it is that's inviting somebody to the table, you want to come to a situation, a relationship, empty-handed? Like you don't want to bring nothing to a relationship. Like first of all, as a woman, I don't want to step into any situation that somebody is 100% controlling and has the end all be all on it. I'm coming in to bring in what I got to bring to the table because we're going to do this thing together. It ain't going to never be yours. It ain't going to never be mine. It's ours. And we're going to build together, not you building and I'm just tagging along.
She may think she's bringing her, like her body or sex, you know.
But what does that do for a relationship? Your looks.
I mean, some people mind.
For this relationship. It cannot get us a house. It cannot build us a family other than me laying you down on your back and busting it open, spreading it wide, and all that other stuff. Right. Like that's all your body is bringing to this table as far as the growth of this relationship, the growth of you and I together. If you don't bring anything to the table, your feelings, your emotions, your conversation, your knowledge, your wealth, whatever it is you have, what do we have?
Yeah. If you don't bring them to a table, you setting yourself up to allow the other person to pretty much dictate how this relationship is going to go.
That part.
She's gonna watch the babies.
And I think relationships are their own being too, and they need to have a purpose. Just like he has his purpose, you have yours, but the relationship has to have a purpose too. So yeah, I think everybody needs to bring something.
I bring me. That's what she said. I am the table.
I've been seeing that so much.
I got a shirt to say that.
I know. I heard before you started playing it every day. I was hearing it 0 from 0, nothing. There you go, Sonya.
Yeah. She said she brings to the table.
Well, I like to be the devil's advocate. So I mean, there are Now, I know we've played clips where some men want this would be a submissive type of woman to me. This would be a kept woman. This is
She has to be
a concubine.
She has
This
to.
is, this is a capture. This is a prisoner of war here. Like, some women are comfortable being in that position. And just like the brother told us before he got knowledge of himself, these are the type of women that he wanted, because it gives you control, dominance, and it just puts you in that more of that leadership role.
Well, no, check this out. I've been seeing this a lot. Just working with Social Security, you got so many people, they've been married for 50 years and then husband decide to leave. Now, they never worked in their life. They can't get Social Security. They ain't pay into it. They don't have nothing for themselves because they let somebody take care of them for 50 years.
And don't know how to do nothing either.
Right, because all you did was watch the kids and cook, clean the house, and do stuff like that. So now, if this person leave you and don't leave nothing for you, then you just stuck starting over.
But
so
also,
when you don't have something in your corner.
But also, you gotta also understand, they got married at what time of whatever decade, women were not allowed to have their own accounts. They had to take their husband or male relative to open up any bank account. They had to be in that male person's name.
Linnea, Linnea, it may have been there, but we have gone through a lot of centuries since then, a lot of years, that you should have realized that women empowerment has came along, and somebody should have taught your ass something.
But we still got some ladies in the dark ages. I ain't one of them, but I'm just saying, I was kind of like blown out of my mind. I was like,
not to be rude, but you deserve everything you get when you let somebody have that much control and power over you.
Y'all know the first drug dealer that started hiding money in the shoebox learned that from his grandmother, right?
Pretty much.
But I mean, am I lying? Come on now, think about like.
Grandma said she gonna have something of her own.
Yeah, tucked off.
Papa act a fool. Grandma gonna
she
be
had some sense.
Smart woman.
She had some sense. She got the credit for them to have some
But
sense.
at the end of the day, I think everybody wants to be significant, whether it's in a relationship or not. And until you really find your purpose and dig deep and figure out how you're going to contribute to the earth, what legacy are you going to leave in the world, you're going to make somebody miserable. It sounds cute that she want to be a kept woman or whoever. In the end, everybody want to be important, and that's the kind of person that end up sabotaging somebody else's stuff in a relationship and be like, I don't know why I'm like that. That's why, because you never find your purpose. That's not healthy. That's very unhealthy mindset.
And then on top of that, it's what your definition of a relationship is. There are people who want to be in a relationship and, like Shannon was describing, have a partnership, whereas she's bringing something to the table and the other person is bringing something to the table. And this question, bodes a different type of relationship where they, what they're bringing to the table isn't substantial. Because even though they may not have, financial backing to bring to the table, your looks and your body and your connections or your family, that is your package. Whatever you're bringing to the table, your physical, emotional, spiritual, conscious, subconscious mind is your package. You are what you're bringing. Yeah. So the question is the package that you're presenting to the other person, be it male or female, is a part of, is substantial enough for them to also invest in something together with you. So when you're looking at what you're bringing to the table, and I always say, I use this analogy, guys have to sell themselves to a woman. They have to have a vision that a woman believes in. And a woman has to be able to see herself in that vision. Like, this is a vision that I can be good with. If that is the same, using that type of analogy, her vision for herself is a lifestyle where the person that she's in a relationship with is taking care of her. And so she needs to find a man that has that type of vision to give to her. Like, he has to present that to her. And if that is the vision she wants, then they can, come together, hopefully, and make that vision a reality. But it all depends on the person, and we can't, it's not good or bad. People are people, and they do what's based in their experiences and their circumstances. And so, some women in the South still want a man to take care of them. Yeah. Some women in the North want a man to take care of them, and so it all depends on what that man wants to take care of a woman, and that woman wants a man to take care of them. So is it good or bad? No, it is based off of what we think we would prefer.
And see, that could set you up for the potato bag trick. Because you get the big bag of potato chips, and you go to crack it open and find out it was just air, and it's only like 5 chips in there. So that, you could get set up like that. Like, God damn, I'll let you just bring this to the table. You only got 5 fucking chips in the bag. It's like full of air.
I agree. I think it's a setup because you really want to, you want somebody with some substance. And the reason why this post rubs me the wrong way, just like one of the ones that y'all mentioned earlier, somebody else posted, I don't have to bring anything to the table because I am the table. Both of these posts just really embody how much competition there is in a relationship, and especially when it's Black people, we really have got to get back to being intentional with loving each other and saying, I am not going to compete with you. Yes, I want you to take care of me, but I'm gonna take care of you too. I'm gonna find out exactly what you need. I'm gonna find out where you hurt. Let's heal together. Let's grow together. Let's not compete. Let's lift each other as we climb. And we have to be intentional about moving that way, because again, we've been taught from so many places to hate each other. Let's tear each other down. Let's compete. Let me try to make you look bad. Let me put my foot on your neck. We can't do that if we're going to survive as a people. We got to figure out how we're going to uplift each other. And saying that I'm the table and I don't care what you got and all that kind of stuff, that's not going to help us to get there. We got to build each other.
Well, shout out to Gracefully Created 2 joining us on Instagram. Did you Gracefully Create? She checks in with us pretty regularly. I hope she noticed that I did something good with the clarity on Instagram. I hope everybody tuning on Instagram noticed that I fixed the clarity on Instagram. I did that just for y'all, IG, because I love all y'all. Thank you very much.
But she was saying that's why you have to vet.
Yeah, she said that's why you have to vet.
Mm-hmm. To find what what Rich was saying, what you're looking for, and she agreed with what you were saying, Rich, and said that it was very well stated.
But I believe that, like NJ Rich said, the package can be her. She.
But in my mind,
it's like
how long does that last? How long does that work?
This is the package I want right now. If I trade that package in if I trade that car in for a younger, better model, not to say women are cars, but y'all understand it now. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, I'll say
women or man, you just certain things will last longer than others. I believe, no matter what.
But for the ones who have this mindset, no matter what,
But she said you invited me. If you invite me over, yes, I could be polite and say, hey, you need me to bring something. But if you invite me over, if you say, hey, NJ Rich, Troya, come over and watch the game. You don't have to say, hey, do you need me to bring anything? I invited you. So you could naturally think everything that you need, I'm going to have because I'm inviting you.
So you think this is what you're talking about?
I'm that type of person. I'm an offer.
Because there's two different things. Because nobody invites you into a relationship. Right. We go into a relationship knowingly together, whether it's I'm coming playing games or I really want a relationship. You're not really inviting me. Yeah, you may be more of the aggressor, but it's me that be like, here I come at the end of the day. So when you choose to take that invitation, you know that you would probably have to come bringing something to the table. And if you think that you shouldn't and you don't want to, you're entering a relationship.
But what if I pursue?
How long does that last for you?
What if you don't do the vetting? Like Gracefully said, what if I don't vet you? I'm just pursuing because I'm seeing something, and I really don't care about nothing else right now. And then when we get into it, now I'm looking at you like, all right, well, You know, you going to the kitchen? Oh no, I don't wash dishes because I was focused on like So now she's saying, well, you invited me to this party, like motherfucker, like what the fuck, like don't be looking now, like because you didn't do the steps.
That ain't no invite.
Well, I want to piggyback on this real topic real quick, and it sounds shallow, but in these United States, it's kind of true. Pretty people who are attractive, there is a benefit to that. There's a benefit. Most people who are in these United States have their level of ideal of beauty. And those individuals doll themselves up because there's an advantage. There was a show on Netflix, the Selling the Houses, Sunset something. And all of the women on the show are beautiful people. Why? Because they're in luxury houses, and men and women don't mind buying a house from a beautiful person. So beauty has its advantages in these United States. Hence the reason why a lot of the girls who are bottle service at the nightclubs, they tend to want to doll themselves up and be beautiful. Hence the reason why you have people in other countries trying to lighten in their skin, because beauty in certain countries and communities means that you get on TV. There's a benefit to beauty. You go down to South America, the majority of the people on TV have a certain hue that is connected to what they believe beauty is. Those people who don't have that hue tend not to have as many advantages. So when you're talking about, bringing stuff to the table, and it may not be, it may still be considered superficial in these United States and in some other countries, beauty can equate to dollars.
Well,
that's how you make your living.
I'm going to our clock is ticking, so I'm going to let everybody give their final thoughts. I'm going to let Troya go next to last, so we can get our little bit of promo out that we're going to finish doing, but we're not going to stop, because if Troya's doing something, you already know my pom poms is waving.
Shake pom pom, shake pom pom, shake pom pom.
NJ Rich, give me your final thoughts, brother.
May the obstacles before you promote the power. Promote the power. And I'm saying that because Mike now says peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, my brother.
Thank you for the last minute save. I appreciate it as always. And my from my lips to the powers above's ears, you will see more of NJ Rich this year. This guy has had my back for it's been years now, and he's been the same guy he is now. He's been this brother since I've known him in high school, like stand-up guy. And those are the type of people I'm keeping around me in 2022. The rest of y'all, my ass. Mac, final thoughts, bro.
All right. Flip two words around. Is this and this is. Become a this is person. When you use is this, you're questioning yourself. You're not sure. But when you flip those two words and you say this is, you're making a statement. You're demanding it. This is what I want to do. So you say, is this job for me? Is this life for me? Is this what I want to do? Flip that shit around and say, this is the life for me. This
okay, now, Mac attack. Okay.
Be sure about yourself. And it's that simple. It's just flipping those two words around. It'll change the whole context.
You writing that down, boy? Write that down?
Be a this is person and not a is this person.
I'm putting that on Facebook tomorrow. Thanks.
Write it down. All right. Well, I just want to encourage everyone to just do like Troya said, go out into nature. It's actually pretty good. Not going to get a storm. So let the fresh air open up your mind and just sit on a rock. Just ground yourself. Everything will come to be.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
So I'm stealing from my glam, my Monday with glam. I'm trickling my phrase of the week on over. So this week I told my peoples that what I tell them. I put it on my post, so I had to read it, y'all. That sometimes we're tested not to show our weaknesses, but to discover our strengths. So know that when we're going through our storms, it's not us, being weak, but to figure out the pull from our strength and to, fight through and get to the other side. So
that's right.
And NJ Rich really put us on the spot. Dr. Troya.
Yeah. What you went to go look for?
He called us out, didn't he? Dr. Troya.
Troya is good. Let's see. Thank you for having me. I love being with y'all. Y'all are funny. The books are all available on Amazon. And don't forget to love yourself. Find somebody else. Love them too. Lift as you climb. Be intentional. Get out in nature and enjoy yourself. Be determined to have a good life. And I must say, since this book is about divorce, I have never been as lonely since I've been divorced as I was when I was married. And that is my truth.
Wow.
Might be.
Troya, how many? This is what, your third, fourth? How many times we had you on, Troya? 3? 4?
Yeah, I think this is my third time.
So we had you on twice last year. So that means this year we gotta have you on 4 times.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey.
Y'all heard it, right? We that was a verbal contract. We gotta have Troya on at least 4 times this year, at minimum.
I'm ready.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody. Troya, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Definitely thank you. I always learn when I talk to you more than these other ones. You and Dr. Will bring a different sort of quality to the show that I just can't get with the rest of these people.
Oh yeah, you getting foolishness from the rest of us.
Yes, Dr. Will, you and Dr. Will, the two of you, I need to have you two on the show together, and we gonna get so much knowledge and information.
That would be dope. That would be dope.
That's gonna be our Oprah moment. We're gonna make motherfuckers cry that day. we making you cry that day.
And add Rich on top of it. No,
NJ Rich in there too. Oh yeah,
I'm good. I'm
somebody
good.
gonna cry.
I'm calling out that day. I'm calling out that day.
Hey, Mike, that's another show. That's
Yeah,
that's
that Oprah moment there. But we definitely appreciate it, and shout out to Dina. Dina's working behind the scenes for us with the show and helping getting us guests and everything. And
shout out Dina.
I know she's gonna text me and be like, "So when do I get to come on?" So we're still
I
working.
got you, Dina.
We're working. We're still working her contract out.
Dina said, "Give her grace and get her on the show."
But we appreciate everybody that checks in with us on a regular. And please, even when the show is over, don't stop. Keep hitting that share button.
Go watch our reels. We be posting the funny clips. We need y'all to hit those like buttons on those reels.
Yes.
Keep telling y'all if y'all not getting the alerts that from the post, because Mike posts all damn day on Cool in the Game.
Yeah, if you're not seeing Cool in the Game stuff, let me know.
Check them settings. We need y'all to check them settings.
Yeah, I'll tell you what to do. Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna have to show you how to check.
Yeah, it's something the way Facebook sets up when you do things where it puts us at the bottom or puts me at the bottom. So, but I do post a lot from the Cool in the Game page on Facebook and Instagram. So if you're not seeing that, please let me know, because I want you guys to be able to keep up with the questions and everything that we have going on. And we're gonna do some more giveaways this year. I'm gonna steal something from Shannon. She does a winner's wheel. So we're gonna start doing the wheel and start giving some stuff away. But I'm having fun, and I want to keep having fun, and I want to have fun with all of you all, and I want to just take this show to the next level this year. That's my goal. No, would you say, Matt? That is what I'm going to do.
That's right.
So thank you, Troya. We will figure out what we're going to do next and talk about next. We will continue to share and help you promote this book, because I do believe it's a message. Somebody needs this. Like, somebody's sitting right now thinking that they did something wrong, or they are outcast, or they
might keep acting up. He gonna need it. Ow.
No.
You ain't going nowhere.
As
long as you show up to do the show every Tuesday, we good.
I'll be in.
All right. Because we running businesses over here.
I gotta come visit the kids.
She said she gotta come visit the kids.
All right. On that note, let the obstacles before you provoke the power within. I'm going to figure out something new this year. Let me go finish reading a couple of my books. I'm going to find something that hits my heart, and I'm going to say that from now on.
You are tuned into the Cooley and the Gang Show on Blockworks Radio.
We'll see y'all next week.
You are what it took the cases. Yeah, that's trial and error. Standard was high as ever. Now I never settle, I'm in search of finding better. Yeah, I gotta save my word. Exhausted all my energy to make it work. Barely knew yourself, I guess that made it worse. Niggas broke your heart, I tried to break the curse. Don't take it personal, cause I needed the practice. Learning minding my business, and not seeking reactions. I need better decisions, I remember my status. I guess it don't make sense then, I guess I understand it. Yeah. This the closure I needed. Study mistakes so in the future I wouldn't repeat it. Hitting your ex up, I bet that you ready to see him. You live in reverse, planting seeds and then when it soiled the dirt. Summer was playing games, you was enjoying them first. Things change, that's how the seasons work. That's why we never keep in touch. I wanted shit to spring with.